Jordan, you
Amazing.
have this beautiful, like pop kind of R&B sound to your voice. How do you describe the music that you make?
I mean, I think, Reckless, the new one is definitely very kind of along that pop R&B route. But I think, right now the aim for me is to just make music that feels really good. And like
Sure.
the term that I've kind of been using is like ballads that move, you know what I mean? Just like really trying to just make really big anthems and stuff that people I feel like can gravitate towards and it's easy to sing and just stuff that feels great and people can relate to, hopefully.
Who are some of the artists in that influenced you when you were growing up?
I mean, growing up, my biggest influences were, Adele, Ed Sheeran, Bruno Mars, Justin Bieber. And to be honest, they're probably like still my biggest influences. Ed Sheeran was my first ever concert. And yeah, he was such a big influence for me growing up. I think there's a like thing about Ed that he just feels like a very, very normal guy and just,
Right?
doing it on the biggest of stages. And I think for me, when I was a little bit younger, that was it made me feel like that, wow, maybe I could do this as well. So yeah, those were my biggest inspirations for sure.
Well, Reckless is officially out. I'm wondering what kind of response have you been receiving from the fans so far?
I just put up a story on Instagram, like just saying how grateful I am with I don't know. The response has been so amazing, and I haven't released music, just as me, Jordan Anthony, for like a year and a half, and so this is really just the start of kind of the new chapter in my career, and yeah, literally, it just dropped last night, and the response has genuinely been so overwhelming, and I'm super grateful. So I'm just happy that people are liking it.
Where did the inspiration for it come from?
Well, the funny thing is, I went into this session with Sam Seasoned and Emil Gantuz, like two of some of the most amazing people that I've met out here
Grammy
in LA.
nominated.
Grammy nominated. I mean, they're so insane, and I love working with them so much. But we actually walked into this session thinking that we were going to write a love song for a pitch project, and we were kind of writing the song drawing from one of my own personal experiences. And so from that aspect, I already felt super connected to the song because it was about something that I had experienced and crushing hard as I tend to do sometimes. But we came to the end of the session and we written the song and we were playing it back and we all looked at each other and we were like we can't pitch this. Like this feels like a Jordan Anthony song. And so yeah, it was just that really cool moment at the end of the session where we just knew like it had to be a part of my project, and yeah, it felt really fitting for it to just be the first one off the press.
What is your typical songwriting process like? Do you guys need to figure out the beat first and then you can start crafting music?
I mean, it kind of always changes, and it depends, if I'm writing by myself or if I'm in a session with other people. But I tend to always write about things and draw from my own experiences and my own emotions, and whether it's love, loss, about missing my family, heartbreak, whatever. I tend to. It feels like it comes from a really authentic place when I'm writing about something that I've experienced, and I find that I'm a lot more passionate when I'm writing about, um, one of my own experiences. So I definitely draw from that a lot, and sometimes we're just sitting at a guitar or a piano and figuring out some chords and start the mumble method, like mumbling some melodies,
Okay.
at the piano, or a producer might have a little bit of a beat cooked up and we can write over that. It really, it's always changing, but those are kind of some of the main things that we do.
We talked about working with these incredible producers. How much of a hand then do you have on that end? Or do you just, since they're well trained individuals, you're like, okay, I trust you and you let it go.
Yeah, I mean, I with this one, I didn't have a hand in the production. I mean, that's Emil. He's an absolute beast. So yeah, we went all in on that, and it's really funny because one of the other reasons why we knew it needed to be, one of my songs is that um, the actual the way it sounded after that first day in the studio when we wrote it, like between that and the end product, it really wasn't. a lot of changing and anything we did, it just felt so good, like right from the get-go. And that was one of the ways that we kind of knew that it was meant to be my song, just because it really came together so quickly. And a lot of production choices and stuff, I definitely do trust. I have a lot of trust in the people that I work with, and especially Emil, he's a beast. So yeah, there definitely is a lot of trust, and I think that goes both ways in terms of the songwriting and melodic decisions. Like it's definitely a very team effort on that end. So yeah, definitely a lot of trust and just allowing our instincts to kind of just try and bring it all together, you know?
All right. Is this a prelude to a full album or an EP?
Well, there is definitely like a lot of music in the world. I've been writing non-stop pretty much for the last 12 months ever since I moved to the States. So we're definitely working on just currently we're working on rolling out singles and just the best of my catalog that we feel. And yeah, we're trying to release every 4 to 6 weeks now and just not stopping. And then hopefully we're going to culminate that into a project, whether it's an EP or an album, hopefully next year. So that's kind of yeah what's in the works at the moment.
All right. Is there a dream collab you'd have in mind? Someone you'd love to work with in the future? Clearly, Ed Sheeran is maybe at the top of that list at this point.
Ed is very much up there. Ed Sheeran, Justin Bieber, Bruno Mars, Charlie Puth. I mean, I'd love to write with Ryan Tedder, One Republic. He's an absolute. I love him so much as well. So if any of those guys wanted to give me a call and invite me to the studio, I definitely would. I'd be there for sure.
Oh, right. We loved you on American Idol. What's the advice that you were given and by whom that you've really taken to heart and taken with you all these years?
Yeah, I mean, I think there was a lot spoken about on the show by Cadel, I don't know who that is, Katie, Luke, and Lionel, just about
Hegel is their ship name?
yeah, maybe I don't know, something like that. But I think there was a lot of talk about just like really trusting ourselves and trusting our artistry, and not trying to do anything beyond like your own ability in terms of trying to outdo yourself every single time. But I think, trusting our artistry and trusting what we bring to the table as individuals, I think is something that I really took away from that experience because, you know, going on American Idol, I've never heard that caliber of talent, of vocals. Like, I'll never forget sitting there in Hollywood Week and listening to everyone being like, I've never heard singers this good ever in my life. And so that was super intimidating. So I think, um, they really were speaking about just trusting what you bring to the table. And, there's so many insane singers and incredible singers, but knowing what you do really well and kind of trying to deliver that every week was definitely a big thing for me throughout the show.
You have such wonderful fans. What would you like to say to people who are so supportive of the beautiful music you continue to put out?
Thank you so much. I mean, I'm honestly just grateful. Like that's literally the biggest word that comes to mind. I think, even recently there's really been an influx of people and supporters and yeah, like I say to them, they'll never have to wait this long for music ever again. Like we have a lot lined up and yeah, I'm so excited and I'm so grateful to every single person, not only here in the States that may have been following post American Idol, but everyone back home in Australia as well. Like I know that they've always got my back, and my family, my friends, and all the fam back home. Yeah, I'm so grateful for them because they continue to always, I know that they've got my back too. So yeah, I'm just grateful for everyone that continues to follow my journey and is kind of, hopping on, I don't know, the Jordan Anthony train, I guess.
Yes, so we have Reckless out now, and I hope everyone goes out and streams it, grabs a single. It's definitely a banger of a song.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.